was pretty much like nobody talked. I mean, our classes were pretty quiet.
It was a somber day in Mahomet where students returned to school after a classmate died in a weekend car accident.
This is going to be a very difficult session. The state is still grappling with some serious financial problems.
It will be a tough 4 months for lawmakers as they begin hammering out Illinois' biggest issues.
And artists in East Central Illinois will soon have people looking to the sky to see their work. ABC News Channel 15 News at 6 starts now. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Liz Loheis.
And I'm Doug Quick. Friends of 16-year-old Austin Dyson shared their favorite stories about the Mahomet student today.
It was just one way they mourned the loss of a teen killed in a weekend car accident. ABC News Channel 15's AJ Bayaport is live in Mahomet. AJ, a tough day for those students.
Well, Doug, Liz, the focus today at Mahomet Seymour High School was Austin Dyson. The counselors were here to listen to students who wanted to talk and encourage them to put those thoughts on paper. The school plans on giving those notes to the family. It's just a way of helping the teens deal with the loss of a classmate and friend. A memorial above the ashes and against the tree where Austin Dyson lost his life. After a quiet day at Mahomet Seymour High School, Dyson's friends recalled a funny young man.
The only thing he really wanted to do was just make everybody laugh. If he could make one person laugh throughout the day, I mean, his day was just the best it could be. If he didn't make somebody laugh, he'd just be upset with himself.
I work in the library, my 6th hour, and he'd come in there and he'd just talk, and we'd sit there and laugh, and he'd come in and the teacher would be like, well, it's time for you to go. He's like, well, I didn't get any work done.
Dyson was driving a van with two friends Friday night. He lost control and slammed into a tree near Lake of the Woods. Dyson died at the scene. Monday, the memorial included flowers, a picture, and an Xbox 360.
I played a lot of Xbox with him, and he loved to play Xbox, and he's pretty good at it.
At school, Principal Shannon Cheek says few students mourned alone.
Kids are spending some time in the office today with each other and with counselors and social workers, and most of them are together with each other. I think they just want to be together and talk.
Because everybody knew him, so everyone's going through the same thing. So you're not by yourself, and you can just go through and talk to other people about it, because everyone's going through the same thing with him.
As a school grieves, it's clear these students will never forget Austin Dyson. A visitation for Dyson will be held tomorrow night. There's also a service set for Wednesday morning at Mahomet Christian Church. Cheek says the students will be excused from school if they want to go. School buses will be available to take them there. In Mahomet tonight, AJ Bayatpour, ABC News Channel 15.
The other two teens involved were 15-year-old Ryan Schaefer of Champaign and 16-year-old TJ Washington of Mahomet. Schaefer is in serious condition at a Springfield hospital. Washington is in good condition at Carl Hospital in Urbana.
A fire outside Danville quickly spreads, damaging 2 homes and causing multiple injuries. It happened around 2 this afternoon in Hillary, which is just west of the city. The fire started in a house on West English, but quickly spread to a neighboring home. Relatives lived in both homes. According to the Westville fire chief, multiple people were treated for injuries, most likely smoke inhalation. There's no word on the extent of those injuries. 2 dogs were also lost in the fire. 5 fire departments were called out along with 3 ambulances. The cause is still under investigation.
Champaign police arrest a man after he takes his dog to an animal emergency clinic for a gunshot wound. 32-year-old Joshua Ingersoll told the clinic the dog was shot accidentally while hunting. But when police searched his home, they found evidence to lead them to believe the dog was shot in the house. They also discovered several firearms, including an AK-47 rifle. Ingersoll was arrested for reckless discharge of a firearm, cruelty to animals, and not having a valid FOID card.
The Champaign Police Department is asking for your help in solving 2 related crimes. On Friday, November 4th, officers responded to reports of burglaries at 2 adjacent businesses located on the 2900 block of Crossing Court in Champaign. Employees of the 2 businesses, Simro and Retna of Illinois, say they happened between 5 p.m. on the 3rd and 6 a.m. on the 4th. The suspects broke into Simro and then knocked a hole in a wall to get into Retna of Illinois. Items taken include a computer monitor, computer tower and cash. Anyone with information is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 373-TIPS. Doug?
Well, it was most definitely a different kind of day. For the month of January, we saw high temperatures well up into the 50s overhead, blue skies and sunshine, looking good. Looking down along West Springfield at the present time across honorary Keith Page Drive, also known as Country Fair Drive. But boy, look at the temperature still. 61 degrees currently in the St. Louis area. A little cooler though in Champaign, 49. We expect to see temperatures tomorrow in the upper 50s here in East Central Illinois. 49 degrees currently at Willard. Winds still quite brisk out of the south at around 16 miles an hour. Meanwhile, at the Vermilion Regional Airport, still looking at a 22-mile-an-hour wind out of the southwest and mostly clear skies there. Clouds will be on the increase tomorrow. Could see some rain by late in the afternoon and through the evening and overnight, but as I mentioned earlier, it should be a bit warmer. We'll detail all of that. Storm Team 15 forecast details coming up in just a few minutes. Liz, now back to you.
Thanks, Doug. Plenty of individuals will be watching what the legislature does as their future depends on their action. One of those, regional school superintendents. Over the summer, Governor Quinn cut their salary, saying they should be paid out of a local fund. So they went months without pay. During the fall veto session, a deal was reached to pay them, but that deal was only for this fiscal year and runs out June 30th. Recently, some regional superintendents have been making their case known to lawmakers that they are needed.
Certification, bus driver certification, teacher certification, truancy that we provide, alternative education, health, life, safety inspections of buildings.
As part of the deal reached last year to pay regional school superintendents out of the corporate property replacement tax, a commission was also put together to study the need for these positions. That commission will make recommendations for the office likely by April 1st.
And that is not all facing lawmakers in the coming weeks. Unemployment in Illinois is well above the national rate. The budget is about $8 billion in the red.
Many businesses are saying being in Illinois is killing their business. That is a small sample of what sums up Illinois right now.
Now, starting tomorrow, state lawmakers will try to fix some of those problems as they return for their spring session. ABC News Channel 15's Andrew Hansen is live at the Capitol. Andrew, what are the pressing issues?
Well, Doug and Liz, the list is very long for lawmakers. You got pensions, the budget, and a mountain of unpaid bills. But for AFSCME, a union that represents thousands of state workers, they'll be paying special attention. This was the scene this summer. 30,000 state workers demanding Governor Quinn honor their contract for a scheduled pay raise. Fast forward to today, still no pay raise, and negotiations for the next contract have already begun.
Of course, it's going to be very difficult to settle a new contract when the old one isn't settled yet.
It will be a very important session for AFSCME and their members. Seeing how lawmakers handle the budget will be the biggest for them. Why? The pay raise issue for one, but also the governor wanting to close some state-run facilities like the Jacksonville Developmental Center.
Our message to lawmakers is we think they have a responsibility to state employees.
Even Senate President John Cullerton, during a press conference earlier this month, said the biggest issue was the state budget. But getting both sides of the aisle to agree on how to handle that will be the challenge.
We would invite the Senate Republicans to end their 3-year boycott of the budget process.
Beyond the budget, the billions in unpaid bills and Medicaid bills are crucial to address. According to the Civic Federation, if lawmakers don't tackle those issues soon, Illinois' unpaid bills could reach $34 billion by 2017.
So this year they've got to go after the spending issues, spending problems. So I think this year is going to be much more contentious than last year.
Then there is the pension issue. Illinois' pension system is more than $80 billion in the red. A few ideas are out there now. One would make state workers choose between 3 pension options. Some deem that unconstitutional. Also, there's an idea to make downstate and suburban school districts and universities pay a huge share of their state pension contributions. Some other issues that could come up this year: ending the tuition waiver program, concealed carry, gaming expansion, banning tanning for those under 18, dealing with the corporate tax. The list goes on from there. So everything begins here tomorrow at the Capitol. The spring session is scheduled to wrap up May 31st. So lawmakers will have about 4 months to try and tackle it all. Reporting live at the Capitol, Andrew Hansen, ABC News Channel 15.
Thanks, Andrew. On Wednesday, the governor will give his State of the State address. During his speech, Quinn will lay out his agenda and focus on some of the state's past accomplishments. His budget address is scheduled for February 22nd.
Artists in Champaign will soon have a new canvas to show their work, and it will have people looking to the sky.
And following a tough loss at Minnesota on Saturday night, the Illini are in the midst of their worst stretch of the season. But does Bruce Weber believe his team is heading in the right direction? Find out. It's coming up, still ahead in sports.
New details tonight on the health of U.S. Senator Mark Kirk, who continues to improve after a major stroke last week. Kirk has now been upgraded to fair condition. Northwestern Memorial Hospital's neurosurgeon Richard Fessler says Kirk is alert, talking and responding to questions, and doctors are very pleased with his progress. They believe a clot developed from a tear in an artery in his neck and lodged in his brain. There's a brand new art gallery in town. Adams Outdoor Advertising and 40 North 88 West are teaming up to help fan the community's creative flames with Sky Gallery. It's an outlet for local artists in the Champaign-Urbana area to display their art on possibly the largest canvas in town, billboards. The new art gallery was unveiled today along with the work of 6 very talented local artists.
Like, what's the best way to bring exposure to artists other than, giving them the biggest canvas you could possibly think of, which is being able to feature their artwork on a billboard. And I think it also highlights the amazing talent we have in this town, and it gives something great for people who are driving by to look at something a little bit different.
6 artists out of more than 60 were selected by judges in the local art community to have their art placed on a 10 by 30-foot billboard. Doug?
Yeah, well, they had a good day to be out there today. We've had sunshine, blue skies overhead, and temperatures topping out in the 50s. Could be a degree or two warmer tomorrow. That's some good news. We've got more good news with the Storm Team 15 forecast coming up next. Welcome back to ABC News Channel 15. Happy Monday to you. Well, in case you missed the sunset, here it is, a colorful end to the day. And we did see a thin layer of clouds as the day came to a close. Those clouds are expected to dissipate somewhat here during the evening hours, and we do still expect clear conditions during the overnight. But once again, clouds will be on the increase tomorrow, and it might be a little warmer tomorrow as well. 24 degrees early this morning, 56 degrees. That was the high temperature at Willard Airport. Not bad. And we upped our January total of precipitation over the weekend as well. We're up now to 3 1700ths. Compare that with the January average of liquid precipitation at a little bit over 2 inches. Now the snowfall totals remain, and that's the way it's going to end up at 5.7 inches officially. So slightly less snow this month or this January compared to typical Januaries. And last year, let's not even consider that. Look at these high temperatures today. We were in the 50s and loving it here in East Central Illinois, but look out to the west, 60 degrees. That was the high in Springfield, 64 out in the Jacksonville area, and even Quincy saw 64 degrees. So much warmer conditions were observed out to the west of us. Well, now the current temperatures have backed off a little bit, but we're still about 5 degrees warmer in Springfield than we have it here. 49 degrees in Champaign, also in Paxton, 48 in Watseka, 49 in Fowler, 50 in Petersburg and Paris, 51 in the Mattoon-Charleston area, 50s at Rantoul and Danville, and class of 49 there in Gibson City, also in Hoopeston, 50 degrees in Monticello and the Tuscola area. Here are the clouds that we were looking the underside of earlier this morning, but it didn't take too long for those clouds to clear as high pressure helped clear our conditions. And now we're looking at just that thin layer of clouds, a little disturbance. This will dissipate during the overnight, but those clouds will be on the increase once again tomorrow. Today, though, a windy, warm day, looking at strong southerly breezes, southwesterly breezes throughout much of the day today, gusting anywhere from 25 to 30, maybe even 35 miles an hour from time to time. On all of that ahead of this next frontal boundary. Now, along with the warm air that it brought up into the area, it also brought a little bit of moisture, and that'll help feed into the possibility of those rain showers tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. Most of it, though, should remain to the south along this disturbance right along the Ohio River Valley. Could even see some thunderstorm activity there. But on the backside of that system, normally we'd be looking at quite a change in our temperatures with brisk northwesterly winds. Well, that won't occur because of the position of that area of high pressure. It's going to bring in strong westerly winds as we continue through the week, and that'll keep high temperatures well above average in the 40s. Clouds on the increase tomorrow. Here it is, a scattering of some rain showers by tomorrow evening. Maybe a slight chance of seeing some afternoon sprinkles as well. 40 degrees for the overnight tonight. Mild conditions, but still quite breezy, gusting up to around 20 miles an hour. 58 degrees will be the high tomorrow. How about that? The clouds will be on the increase, as well as our precipitation chances by late in the day. And then by Wednesday, things should clear out. 48 degrees, 46 expected for Thursday. Next chance of any kind of precipitation late Friday into Saturday. That's some good news as well. And even that wintry mix shouldn't be much of a problem. Overnight low at 30, a degree or two below freezing, but back up into the 40s on Saturday. So anything that we see on the ground in the form of snow or ice should be gone by the middle of the day on Saturday. So all things considered,
and
no
58
complaints.
on the last day of January.
How about that?
Go figure.
Yeah.
Thanks, Doug. Losers of 3 straight Illinois basketball will look to rebound tomorrow night in Assembly Hall against Michigan State. Hear from Bruce Weber on his team's challenge next in sports. Welcome back. Following their big win against Ohio State, Illinois basketball seemed poised for a run at the Big Ten title, but 3 straight losses have the Illini reeling. ABC News Channel 15's Mike Lederer joins us with more. Mike?
Well, 15-3 with a 4-1 conference record, sole possession of first place in the Big Ten. This is where the Illini stood just 12 days ago. But following 3 straight losses, the Illini, they appear to be in trouble. Illinois is now 4-4 in the Big Ten and have fallen all the way to 7th place in the conference, 2.5 games back of first. The latest loss, an overtime disappointment at Minnesota. But even though the Illini are struggling, Coach Bruce Weber believes his team can rebound, and they're actually heading in the right direction.
Taking another step. Penn State, we didn't have the right attitude, and that's why we lost the game, and we still could have won it, even shooting 34, get a call, some different things happen. Wisconsin, I thought we had a pretty good attitude. We played fairly good basketball. We just weren't tough enough down the stretch, and so we talked about attitude being right, having the toughness. I thought we had all those things against Minnesota, and like I say, we didn't get repaid with a victory, and so now you have to come back and see what it's all about.
And you may have noticed Weber's t-shirt tomorrow night, blue out at Assembly Hall. The Illini will wear their road blues with Michigan State wearing the home white uniforms. The number 10 ranked Spartans come to Champaign-Urbana winners of 2 straight. And the Illini know tomorrow night's challenge will be a test of character as they need to get back in the win column.
Obviously, every game is a big game. I guess when you come off some losses, it even makes it bigger. I think to me, it's a character game. 3 other teams have been in similar situations in the league and have responded. Wisconsin losing 3 in a row, Indiana losing, Minnesota losing, and how you respond to it is so important. And all 3 of those teams have responded and came back and got some wins and going on the positive side. And so we have to see what we're about, and if we can meet the challenge.
And finally, it's Super Bowl week. With the Patriots already in town, the New York Giants arrived in Indianapolis Monday, 6 days before the big game. Giants running back Brandon Jacobs here, dressed in black from head to toe, reminiscent of the Giants' dress attire back in 2007 when the team said they were arriving for the New England Patriots funeral. Patriots star tight end Rob Gronkowski held out of practice due to a high ankle sprain. Eli Manning and the Giants currently 2.5-point underdogs as the week leading up to Super Bowl 46 begins in Indianapolis. That's it for sports. Liz, back to you.
Big weekend. Thanks, Mike. And here's a look at what's on tap for 10. We'll check back in Indianapolis, the site of Super Bowl 46, as both teams talk about their preparations for the big game. Plus, Tuscola girls basketball will look to move to 11-0 in conference play against Unity. And fresh off of their loss to the Heat, the Chicago Bulls travel to our nation's capital to take on the Wizards. And here's a look at tonight's stock market report. We'll be right back.
Well, if you like today's temperature readings, you're going to love it tomorrow. We could see a little bit of a boost up to 58 degrees after hitting a high today at 56 in Champaign. A little cooler, though, on Wednesday. We will see some rain late in the day tomorrow, but still quite mild for this time of year. I'll have the latest tonight at 10, also at WICD15.com.
See you later.